Welcome back, hodlers. Today we're going to go over the general crypto market, but we're also going to be touching on some news with Solana, institutions buying Bitcoin, the supply shock, the golden cross that we did get, and OpenSea and some market manipulation. If you do like this type of content, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and get into it. First and foremost, Solana sputters back to life following the downtime that network resource. So Solana was having a bit of an overload, a transaction overload, which did cause it to go down. Solana has returned or is returning to full functionality after being forced offline yesterday. So these validators actually restarted in early Wednesday, so early today. So Solana is a rising blockchain. We've all heard about this smart contract behemoth that is going to be the Cardano killer or the Ethereum killer. Again, I don't think anything is going to be the killer of any token, but I do think it is going to do well. And I do think that this is a very bad thing to happen to Solana. Of course, it looks bad on the dApps, it looks bad on the blockchain, but it is a potential great buying opportunity. Again, buy the fear. Now, some of you might go into the comments and be like, well, it's a scam coin. No, it's not. It just had a functional hiccup. And this is why things like Cardano are so important, because you probably wouldn't go through the similar kind of destruction or the similar kind of downside because of the peer-reviewed process and making sure that everything is good to go before its final launch. Now, again, I'm not saying that Cardano could never go through any problems. I'm just saying that it's nice to have that peer-reviewed kind of process behind it all. But it is still unclear whether or not full functionality has been restored for Solana just yet. So we're still working at making sure that everything is operational. Again, make sure to remember that everything here is in beta. This is why I say you shouldn't be betting the farm on everything. We're really still so very early to a lot of this stuff, whether it be Solana, whether it be PolkaSwap, whether it be Cardano and the new Cardano apps. There's a lot going on right now, and everything is still a big work in progress. Nothing is finalized. Just as a reminder, ETH 2.0 isn't even out. ETH isn't even finalized. I would even dare to say that Bitcoin is not finalized. So, you know, we still have Taproot right around the corner. In terms of NFTs, and this is, I guess, just a fly on the walls of observation saying, be careful with NFTs. OpenSea employees found insider NFT trading. So of course there can be some manipulation, insider trading for NFTs, which is having prior knowledge that an NFT is going to go up or down that the public wouldn't have. So this begs the question, what kind of laws are in place here? Is this insider trading? Is this actionable by governing bodies? I think that's a larger question. I'm not quite sure. I'm not even sure if this article kind of dives into it. So OpenSea's Nate Chanson, the head of product at OpenSea, has come under fire for inside trading of NFTs promoted on the platform. So I assume, knowing that the NFT was going to be promoted and buying and flipping those NFTs, buying and selling the news, which to me is pretty illegal. When OpenSea promotes an artist on the homepage, the artist's NFT tends to jump in value. Makes sense. And he would buy it for prior knowledge. Of course he did. The crypto community first caught on to the activities after Twitter user Zulu posted the message indicating that they had analyzed an on-chain data. So they had actually looked through, so this Twitter user, will give him credit here, they had actually looked through the on-chain data to see exactly what was happening and indicated that he was buying it before the pump. Hey OpenSea, why does it appear that Nate has a few secret wallets that appear to buy your front page drops before they're listed? So incredible investigation on his part, going through and understanding how to read the blockchain, how to read the transactions. It's really not that hard, and it's very easy to track what kind of malicious intent is happening or malicious action is happening behind it. Again, this is perfect. This is a perfect example of the use case for blockchain in government bodies, rooting out a lot of corruption because it allows the public to really look and say, hey, what's going on here? That smells fishy. So kudos to him bringing this to light. Obviously, this is a hugely bearish story for OpenSea. It looks pretty bad on OpenSea, and potentially could mean good things for Cardano NFTs and for Solana NFTs and just NFTs out in the world, because OpenSea can't be the end all be all. It can't be the Amazon of NFTs. I don't think it even could be the Amazon of NFTs. Amazon is Amazon for very specific reasons, and I'd hope that we don't see a similar monopoly in that way. Now, again, I'd say the whole thing with NFTs, very speculative at this point. I'm not involved in any NFTs. However, I mean, I'm not opposed to them. I'll likely buy some in the future as soon as I educate myself a little bit more. And I would just recommend, if you are in NFTs, just make sure you're educating yourself and avoiding things like this. Institutional investors are increasingly putting the focus on altcoins, and it's funny because we hear this from constant big banks and investors to be careful of altcoins, be careful of those scary altcoins. We don't want you owning any of those altcoins and getting yourself hurt, right? You don't want to be taking those risky investments. We'll take it on for you, is basically what they're saying. A new research by Nickel Data Management indicates that 32% of institutional investors with an allocation of Bitcoin in their portfolio will invest in altcoins for the first time in the next 12 months. So this interest is growing and growing and growing. I'm assuming more people that they're surveying are saying that they want to get involved. Notably, about 33% of investors believe that the investment will involve significant amount. So we're talking about a good amount of money, a good chunk of money, while 29% project that their altcoin investment will be gradual, so more of a dollar cost average. And you will have these differences between institutions. Usually this is just whatever they prefer to do when they're purchasing in and building a position. Dollar cost average is of course the best way, but for some institutions it might be cheaper to buy OTC at a larger amount, whatever that may be. Anatoly Krokolov, which is the co-founder and CEO of Nickel Digital, says many DeFi protocols have seen their own market cap increase dramatically over the past year, with valuations rising faster than Bitcoin, which I have seen that actually more ROIs over Bitcoin. These asset addresses real life use cases and are based on a greater programmability than Bitcoin. So they solve more problems effectively than Bitcoin solves. Bitcoin is an amazing store of value and a payment structure, but there are a lot of blockchains like Solana, like Cardano, like Polkadot, like Ethereum that solve fundamentally different problems and work in different dynamics. And that's been reflected in their price dynamics. It's no surprise that institutional investors and wealth managers are increasingly paying attention to the emerging part of the crypto market, which is the altcoins, solving, again, fundamentally different problems than Bitcoin. On to Bitcoin news and away from altcoins. Bitcoin supply shock is coming in here. So we are losing Bitcoin on exchanges. More Bitcoin is being purchased with stablecoins, fiat, whatever it is, and leaving those exchanges, going into hands, and again, long-term hands. So it dips down to 2015 levels. We're talking about bear market levels before the rise of 2017. This is again why I say our market cycle is most likely going to be longer. Now, I'm not in the camp saying that we're going to a crazy Bitcoin, but I am saying between 150,000 to 300,000 by the sometime mid 2022 is my guess. But I understand that a lot of people are saying 2021. So there is that difference of opinion whether or not we're going to have a slightly longer cycle. So again, we saw this on our glass node on the chain weekly that we discussed. So we are seeing that Bitcoin lower, and then that Bitcoin price is going up. So Bitcoin is currently sitting at $48,000, finishing our daily close in roughly 3 hours. We are a day into our golden cross. So the 50-day has crossed the 200-day moving average. If you want an explanation of exactly what the golden cross means, you can go ahead and check out the video that I did yesterday. I'll be doing a TA Tuesday every Tuesday. But what does this mean for Bitcoin? What is this signaling? Well, Bitcoin is assuredly going to go up. This does signal usually bullish times coming. Now, again, that doesn't mean that we can't go down, and it doesn't mean that we can't cancel out our golden cross here. So we could always do something like this where we go up and then some sort of event brings us back down below our 200-day. So it's not something that I'm expecting, but it is something that's happened before. We saw that here where we got the golden cross back in February of 2020. And then we got this event, this capitulation event going down here, and then obviously bringing us into a death cross, and then achieving our golden cross again in May. And then we just kind of traded level for a little bit. It was really quiet. We were making some moves to that $11,000 Bitcoin. And then all of a sudden, October came and we went off to the races. So we could see something similar. I think everything's looking a little bullish though. So because things are looking a little bit more bullish, we could see more of an extended increase over time. Now, again, I am thinking that we will see some sort of market peak in 2022, whether that be early, mid, or late. I'm going on more the late side, probably fall, but I understand a lot of people would say earlier rather than later. And at this point, anything can really happen. But I think a lot of people are in agreement that we're at least looking at a $150,000 Bitcoin by the end of this market cycle, whenever this market cycle ends. I'm just going to briefly talk about altcoins really quick, just to go over it. I'll first start with Solana because that's obviously a topic of discussion we've been discussing here. Now, Solana is currently below or at basically what I bought it at. I think I bought Solana at 159. I also bought a little bit of Solana up here, but I bought a little more. I'm on Radium. I'm providing some liquidity, and yeah, so I did buy a little bit. Now I am expecting that because of the bad news, it most likely would go lower and provide a better buying opportunity. And again, long term, we're still in beta for these types of things. So I'm going to expect some hiccups. Something like this is not going to always be perfect, but the blockchain has proven that it is a good blockchain. I use it. It's very sleek, very smooth when it does work. I really have no problem with it, and I even like it better than, say, Matic or anything else. So, I mean, you can hate on it if you want. You can call it a scam coin, but fundamentally, the blockchain works. It's very intuitive. It's very easy to use. And there are a lot of good projects out there. And I think the NFT market with the OpenSea FUD will kind of gravitate to Cardano and Solana. So my bet on Solana is a hedge against my ADA. ADA is still down. It's still down from its all-time high, but still at $2.47. A great price for Cardano. Cardano is still probably going to make it up above that $3 mark. Most likely soon. We are still above our previous all-time high, and you can see that kind of holding as a line of support almost. You can see that, what is it, the $2.46, our previous line. So we are currently below that line, but it is showing that that's where we are consolidating, which is very common to what happened down here. We did see that all-time high, that peak, be a point of consolidation after this dip. So we saw that we consolidated back on that line. And again, you can kind of see that with previous all-time highs and consolidation points. So all-time high, consolidate around this level. So this is very, very typical for Cardano to do. Right now, I just see this as business as usual for Cardano. It's obviously going to go up. We have Alonzo, we have the dApps. So all of that is going to be coming now, now that we have Alonzo live. So you'll be seeing a lot more dApps coming out, especially Sunday Swap was something that Charles had mentioned specifically. And Ethereum is up at 35.50, so a good price on Ethereum, up 3.38. Overall, the crypto market is in a plus. The total crypto market cap is at $2.18 trillion. So getting back to that, now that we have that golden cross, that cross for Bitcoin, we'll actually see if we did get a golden cross a while ago for the entire crypto market. It matters not really. This is all driven by Bitcoin and everything else. So I wouldn't look at that as any sort of specific metric. But we are obviously going to be bullish here for the crypto market moving up. I am estimating, and again, I've said this before in my last videos back maybe months ago, I think that we will roughly get to a $10 trillion market cap by the end of this market cycle. Where it drops to, I'm not sure. I think $10 trillion will most likely be the peak, which, yes, is a huge amount from here. It's approximately just under a 5x for the total crypto market. And of course, some altcoins are going to pump way higher than Bitcoin and Ethereum and Cardano. So you want to make sure that you're adjusting your risk making sure that you have a lot of Bitcoin, making sure that you have a lot of Ethereum, making sure you have a lot of Cardano, and then going into some of the riskier stuff that you research and you understand, but that's not making up the majority of your portfolio. The majority of your portfolio is the safe stuff, the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot, maybe some Solana, stuff like that. That's it for me. Hopefully this video helped navigate the crypto market on your Wednesday. If it did, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe to the channel for more crypto news and content. And of course, happy hodling.